Hello everyone and welcome back to another exciting edition of Boyographic, the show in which I, Matt, the Game Boy, will talk you through the highs and lows of the Game Boy library, one cart at a time. Let's kick off Japanuary with an exciting title from Athena called Mogura De Pon. I have a lot of memories of being a kid, lurking in holiday camp arcades, back in the days where Street Fighter 2 cabs started getting replaced by Dance Dance Revolution machines. But not necessarily memories of playing games as such, but of playing the other things around them. Watching my father's unfaltering determination as he'd win countless plush toys from claw machines, pouring pennies into coin pushers, and on occasion playing the various skill games for tickets. Sending 10-pence pieces shooting down a conveyor belt to an alien invader, throwing basketballs through hoops, and playing whack-a-mole. I remember holding that foam-topped hammer and striking down on plastic floating moles with all the strength my 6-year-old arms could afford me, in the hopes I'd earn enough tickets to afford whatever was on the display in the glass cabinet. So imagine my surprise when I discovered Athena's Mogura De Pon, which is just a Game Boy version of Whack-A-Mole, and I have to say, I've been quite enjoying it. The game has 3 basic modes, a story, a training, and a VS mode. Their ordering in the menu, however, will throw some players not familiar with Japanese, as the training mode is top of the bill, while the real gameplay lies in the second option. Well, perhaps saying real gameplay is a bit of a stretch, as like ASCII's Penguin Wars, this game is very basic in its offering. The story consists of you beating opponents in a game of whack-a-mole by hitting the target number of animals in the set time period from a 3x3 playing field. Fortunately, you can control the game very simply. The hammer sits in the middle of the grid when the D-pad isn't being pressed, and you aim the hammer over the holes by pointing in that direction, and it never feels cumbersome or slow. Missing a mole will result in a time penalty enforced by your hammer being immovable for a second or two. Of course, the game's opponents are all very cute animals who behave very differently on the grid and have the most unimaginative names ever. There's Mogura, the mole, who is your basic opponent. Penguin, the penguin, who acts like Magura but also has a very fast pop-up. Kuma the bear, who pushes up rocks that need to be hammered back underground. And Nuko the octopus, who spits ink above his head that if hit requires the player to hit 2 more moles that round. You will need to beat these characters 2 times apiece before facing the game's final challenge, a lightning-fast Magura provided by Jira, who is maybe a raccoon? I'm not too sure. The game offers 3 levels of difficulty in which to tackle these challenges, and I found it quite comfortable to play on both easy and normal, with hard mode requiring cheater-like reflexes that my aging GameCube controller couldn't manage to keep up with for this playthrough. Other than the gameplay, there's not really a lot to Mogura De Pon. The training mode, or exhibition mode as it's called here, allows you to hone your skills against some of the more difficult battles, or as an option for a quick burst of play, but is over in less than a minute in most cases. The VS mode I couldn't find any information on, but I imagine it's just a race to see who can whack the most moles in the fastest time. The music in this game isn't really anything special, though Athena would use it again the same year in their Mahjong title Pro Mahjong Kiwami as a cost-saving measure. All in all, Mogura De Pon is a fun little game that can be picked up and played whenever. It works flawlessly and offers a great visual aesthetic. While it is painfully short, the game generally doesn't demand a very high price. So, like the previously mentioned Penguin Wars, can sit in your travel bag for a quick burst of gaming on the go. Though if you're looking for a game with any depth to it, there are many other Japanese exclusives I'll show you over the coming weeks that will be more up your alley. And that's the end of another Boyographic, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have enjoyed this brief foray into Japanuary, why not subscribe and follow some more of our videos and check out some of our older videos. You should also encourage people you think may be interested in the channel to do so, as, hey, that's how it gets around. If you have watched all of our Boyographic videos where I look at the highs and lows of the Game Boy library 1 cart at a time, you can check out some of our Boy Curious videos where I look at bootlegs and oddities for the Game Boy and Game Boy Color, as well as our All the Glory videos where I play through a game, cutting out all of the deaths, leaving you with none of the faff but all of the glory. Until next week, Game Boys and Girls, it's goodbye from me, game on.